Hey everybody, I have Amy Wilkes here with me today, and I'm super excited to chat with her. Amy is a social media marketing manager, and she founded the company Spread the Message Marketing, where she currently helps small business owners manage their social media accounts, as well as their business blogs, Pinterest accounts, and overall just content creation. Not only that, but Amy has published 3 ebooks, which are super awesome, and I highly recommend you go check out on her website. And with that, I welcome you, Amy.
Hey, Katie, thank you.
So I just wanted to start out by asking you to kind of tell us a little bit more about your business and what it is that you do.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I own a social media marketing agency. And basically, like Katie was saying, is I help small business owners with the struggles they have when it comes to social media. Whether they're brand new or they've been in business for a while, I help them with setting up their platforms and um, getting into content creation and really diving deep into their business to see what would work for marketing on a social media standpoint. And it consists of everything. I have some clients that are on just Instagram and Facebook, and then some that are on Twitter and LinkedIn, as well as Facebook and Instagram. And so I help them with their social media. And then I also help with Pinterest. I manage some Pinterest accounts and offer Pinterest setup and coaching calls, which is super fun. I love helping business owners see the need and the importance of Pinterest, as well as blogging. So it's kind of like a mix of everything kind of into one. And then as I evolved in the business, I started to see how I really wanted to share with maybe small business owners that weren't ready to hire a manager, or maybe that it wasn't in the budget for them, to still be able to help them. So I started creating ebooks that have become a part of my business and people enjoy getting and learning from. And then also now rolling into something new in my business, which is coming up soon, which is content membership, where people can get ideas monthly for their niche, monthly from me. And I help write their captions and give them ideas and suggested hashtags and photos and things like that. So super exciting. It's a bunch of stuff all into one. And I enjoy just the marketing standpoint of it with my business. And it's honestly, I just look back and I'm like, I don't even know how this became this, but it's so amazing and I love it. So I just kind of roll with it.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear a little bit more about kind of how you got into this, because I know that you were mentioning you kind of have an interesting story of how you kind of took that entrepreneurial journey. So how did you get into social media marketing?
Yeah, so it started out after I had my second child. I knew that I did not want to leave her in daycare. I really had this urge to stay with her. Um, I, I had a really hard time going back to a big corporation job that I had at the time. I was working from home in Alaska and I was training my team and I enjoyed it. I loved teaching and training and I loved my job. But when I had my second daughter, it was really hard to go back. So I did not go back. I ended up not going back to work. And then through lots of trials came me going to try to work at a daycare where my daughter was at. I was her newborn teacher. Well, she got majorly ill. She got RSV, 6 months old, was hospitalized, was in serious condition. I mean, we were in and out of doctor's offices for 6 months. So I knew at that point, my child is very sick. It's an ongoing problem. I can't go to work right now. There's just no way. I can't do it. And I'm not going to put her back somewhere where she can just keep getting sick because she has such a low immune system. So through that trial and that journey, I found work at home job. I found a work at home job where I became a virtual administrative assistant, which I had some experience in. So I was able to land this job with a wonderful company out of New Jersey, and their social media was just sitting there and nothing was being done with it.
Hmm.
So I was really curious to kind of dive into something that maybe could evolve into me being my own boss and me having my own business one day. Just because of us being a military family and me wanting to be at home with my now toddler, I just wanted something that would be versatile for all of us and something that I would enjoy doing. So that's kind of where social media marketing came in. Is I was really interested in it. I started studying it. I started listening to webinars. I started listening to podcasts. I researched so many hours on social media marketing and how I could get started in it. So the first step I knew I needed to take was I needed to help my boss with his. So if I can grow his social media and get experience like firsthand, then maybe this will be an indicator. but it also came with a lot of prayer because I knew that I needed the Lord's guidance in what I need to do with my life. With my career, not with my life, but with my career. And so through prayer and through trial and practice, and my boss let me take over his social media, it evolved. And then I found a job on Upwork.com doing some social media for someone else and got some blogging experience. Well, then they started spreading me word of mouth referrals to their people. And then it just kept going. And I was like, well, wow, I guess I need to start this as a business now. And here I am now, almost 9 months later from starting my business. I've been able to, land several clients. I have a team now, and now I'm able to start venturing into other ways of helping business owners with their marketing. So it's been a journey, but it's definitely been such an amazing experience just to be able to say, hey, this is what God did. This is what I did to get to this point, and this is what he did to help me get to this point. And I just look back and I'm in awe because I didn't do it all. So it's just amazing. I'm super thankful, but it was definitely a journey because, I went through a lot of trials, a lot of ups and downs, and I'm now here. So it can be done.
Yeah. So what would you say, what was one of the most difficult challenges that you had in kind of starting your business? And how have you kind of overcome that?
I think the hardest part for me in the beginning was I thought that it was going to be amazing and just like I was going to grow super, super quick. And I was able to land like all these clients and be able to quit my other job and just focus on my business full time. And that was not the case. You can't think that you're going to be at the highest level of your business when you first start out. Like it was just not possible. So I had to step back. I was really trying to like approach maybe some friends of mine that had businesses that might be interested and let me work with them. And then I was on Upwork constantly trying to look for other, businesses. And through that, I realized that I'm really chasing this so hard that am I losing focus of what I even started to begin with. And so I stepped back. And at this point, this is where a good business friend of mine came into play. She owns a business. And I asked her, like, how do you know which step you're going to take next? Like, what do you do? And she said, honestly, Amy, I follow the Lord's lead. Like, I surrendered my business to God. And when I did that, all the pieces started falling into place. And at that moment, of course, I love the Lord, but I realized that I was trying to do so much on my own, and I was not depending on the one who gave me this idea and gave me this business, that I realized that I needed to surrender too. Like this, I need to seek his guidance in everything. So when I did that, that's when like things completely changed. And I'm not just saying this because it was mind boggling. I'm not kidding. I went for like 2 or 3 months with door after door shut in my face. I'm talking about close friends of mine that would get on a call with me and contact me and then wouldn't even respond back to me. And I thought they were like really close to me about me helping them. And so it was a really difficult time. It was a very hard time. I was like, I really almost quit. And my husband was like, if you don't get this going, like maybe you can just turn it into a blog or something. And it was true. I was not getting any new clients. I was not getting any new business. And I was really, really devastated. Here I was starting this new business adventure and I'm not getting the results that I thought I'd be getting. So I surrendered the business to the Lord. I was like, hey, it's yours. Help me to decide on which path I need to take and who bring people to me that I know I need to work with. And that is when it all changed. I started accumulating new clients, a lot of word of mouth referrals. And so it just kept coming to me. And then at that point I couldn't handle everything. So that's when I started hiring some help. So, that just goes to show you, like, it's not going to be, people have to work hard and long, sometimes years before they're going to see the results that they thought they would get in the beginning. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I really admire that. And I think there's so much truth to that once you kind of surrender something to God, it's kind of crazy how you start to see how he leads your path. So that's really awesome. I'm really curious, how did you come upon the name, Spread the Message for your business?
Funny you ask, because I could not name the business. I had applied for my LLC, or I was about to apply for my LLC, and you have to have a name before you have an LLC. And I knew I wanted to open the business, and I kept going to my family and friends. And finally, I told my husband, Blake, I was like, hey, I need help. I I knew what I didn't want in the name, and I knew what I did want, and
Mm-hmm.
nothing was clicking. And so he came to me, it took a few weeks, and he came to me and said, how about spread the message marketing? And I was like, oh, that's it. He said, it's got a Christian side to it as well as a marketing side. And I think you're trying to do both, and you're trying to stand for both. And I was like, yes, that's it. And I mean, I was just so excited. I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want, because I'm not going to be ashamed of the Christian that I am. And I want to spread the gospel of Jesus, but I also help businesses spread their message with their marketing. So it's like the combination of both all into one, and it's the perfect name.
Huh. So another question kind of about your business. So do you mainly help like faith-based organizations, or is it kind of just open to any business or company?
So this is something that I've dealt with, and I'm like, do I need to niche down to just faith-based? But I found myself, I'm not there yet. I have helped several faith-based entrepreneurs. I actually have found some of my clients through faith-based Facebook groups, and they have come to me and started using me for their services. So I haven't made that decision yet of just using or just helping faith-based entrepreneurs, because for me, I struggled with that. And believe me, it's something I've been battling. It's just that if I only help faith-based entrepreneurs, I might be able to be an encouragement to them with their marketing and maybe through my faith, but I could be losing potential people that I might could impact for the kingdom of God. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing that if I don't help all business owners. So I try to get on a call. I really try to figure out, and maybe even, Zoom as well. I have done some Zoom. Is I want to talk to these people, these business owners, and just see if it would be a good fit, see if it's something that I think I can help them with before I just jump into something. I think that's important, is to get to know them and make sure that they're willing to, have their part of the marketing as well as what I can offer, and us be able to work together. And my clients are like family, but they're not all faith-based.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are. I don't know for sure. There is probably a couple, but most of us all talk openly about the Lord. So that's amazing that God's brought me faith-based business owners. But I'm not going to shut the door to other business owners that I might could help, whether it be their marketing or, their faith, and maybe they don't even know the Lord. So it's an interesting question. I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a kind of one of those hurdles that each, faith-based organization kind of has to jump over at some point and make that decision. And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to either of them. And I think that some people will feel called to only support faith-based businesses and organizations, and others will feel either the complete opposite, that I want to be with, non-faith-based organizations. And then I think there's people like yourself that kind of have a mix of both. And I think that all of those things are good, as long as it's what God has called you to. And I
Right.
find that when you're in a place, or when you're kind of working with others who aren't necessarily Christians, that it gives you the opportunity to, bear witness to the gospel. And I think that's just such a cool opportunity. And it doesn't necessarily need to be, I'm a Christian and here's my beliefs and stuff, but just in the way that you operate your business and go about your work, and just how you approach, all of your problems and circumstances that you come across. So with that, I'm kind of curious, you know, how do you kind of implement your faith into your business? I know that you said that you kind of hand over your business to the Lord, but just like practically day to day, are there things that you do to kind of implement your faith into what you're doing?
Well, for me, I would say like my day-to-day kind of operations is I like to spend time in my Bible and in prayer daily, and then I like to journal. I use a business journal, and it's got like 5 things that you're grateful for that day, and I use that and I write down the 5 things, and then it also has like business goals that I'm working towards. So it kind of keeps my gratitude and faith in check. And then I also like to journal. I have a journaling Bible, so I like to journal in that. So it's kind of like my daily thing is my Bible, prayer, journaling, what I'm grateful for today, and
Mm-hmm.
goals. So it's kind of all in one. But now, as far as like on a day-to-day basis of my business, I will, share things about what God's done for me. I've talked about my journey on my pages and like Facebook Lives and different lives. I talked about what the Lord does. I'm not going to not post about what God does. Like, I am open to posting, whether it's verses or, encouragement or something that I'm battling with. Like, it's something that I share openly. And I've recently, actually, though, I just felt this urge to have like a different platform to help women and be an encouragement with scripture and quotes and prayer time together. Is I actually just started, but I have not had a lot of time to devote to it just yet to get it up and going. But I devoted a whole separate platform of Girl, Give It to Jesus. And so my goal is to, I have my marketing business, but I also want to have like a separate platform as well to encourage women to seek God at all times, and seek God through the troubles, because we all go through trials, and we all do. And so I want to be an encouragement to women, because I can feel like I can relate to them more. And so I've got that going, and I'm just kind of letting the Lord lead it. Like, if it grows to something where I can help more women, amazing. If it's only just a few close friends, that's good too, because I have found through my Spread the Message marketing platform, anytime I openly talk about the Lord, people come to me and people say, will you pray for me? And I have found through my business that I have been able to reach people for His sake and to pray with them openly. And it's been amazing. Like, if I hadn't have done that, He wouldn't be able to have that impact. And I wouldn't be able to have these relationships with these other business owners that ask me to pray for them. So that's kind of my daily I guess routine, and then as well as how I incorporate it into my business.
That's awesome. I think that's so cool that God is using your business in this way. I was taught in college about this kind of concept of, business as missions, and, the fact that we are all called into full-time ministry no matter where we're at. And I feel like you are following that calling, head on, when you're accepting, people calling out to you for prayer and things like that. And just the fact that you're very open about your faith on your social media and, all your different platforms and stuff. I think that that's really cool to be able to express that and use it as a way to, shed light on the gospel. So thank you for doing that.
I sit back and I'm like, this is all temporary. Like, this is my ultimate calling is supposed to be to spread the gospel. And so I haven't always been as bold, and I'm not saying I'm near as bold as I should be, because everyone has room for growth, to spread the gospel. But, we can be very shy and timid. And so I had to overcome that. I had a hard time talking about, what God's done in life and what He can do for others, and talking about it. So through prayer and through just, surrender, He can use anyone as a vessel. And so I'm just thankful that He's gave me this business to not only be a support to my family and me have a career, and even support other families, the two people that work for me, but also to spread what He's all about, which is, Him saving us. So, and being able to go to heaven. So it's all Him. I mean, He's just using me, and I'm thankful, and I love sharing marketing and Jesus all day long. So yeah.
So right now in your business, I know that we talked about like the struggles that you had kind of starting out, and it is still pretty, like, your business is still pretty young, but currently, what are some of your biggest struggles that you were kind of having to face right now, and how are you dealing with those?
Definitely the coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's affecting business owners, many way worse than me. But it is affecting me. I have two local clients that are in the town that I live in, and one is a hair salon and one was a dentist. They had to close their doors. Like, we're under, state ordinance or whatever it is to stay home, and we can't. And those businesses are non-essentials, what they're saying. So therefore, they're gone. They're not open right now. I'm trying to get the words out. So that has been difficult. I lost those like very early or I guess mid-March. They've been closed for a while. And then I've recently had another client, had to say they couldn't keep going, and then another one had to downgrade. So that's 4 people basically that I have gone through with this virus that has affected me. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, at the very beginning, I was nervous. I was like, I started looking. I'm like, how can I figure out a way to keep the two part-timers I have on board right now, working for me, and, be able to bring anything home. And
Yeah.
looking at your finances, and you're like, oh, wow, how is this even possible? But I knew that wasn't going to do me any good of living in just fear and
Mm-hmm.
anxiety and just all that. I had to go to God. I was like, God, please help me. I don't know, like, what I'm supposed to do right now. This virus is affecting people. It's hurting families. It's hurting business owners. And he can take care of us, because he brought me a new client. He gave me a new idea of something that I could kind of pivot and do for right now, and then maybe even futurely offer as well. And he brought in business during this trial of me losing all these clients for right now because of this virus. So that's been a struggle. I've had some loss, but I've also had, people come and seek my services even during this quarantine. But it's kind of nerve wracking, because you're like, who's going to quit? Who's going to stop services now? But he's been good, and he works it out. And I just have to trust in him and handle it that way, because, I mean, these things are out of our control right now. I understand why a business owner has to stop their marketing. Now, do I think it's necessarily always the best move? Maybe not on a marketing standpoint, but I get it. You've got to feed your family. And so, yeah, it's just
Yeah,
been a trial.
it's been very interesting to watch how, kind of like there was the first layer of businesses that were hit, and now it's like kind of trickling down and affecting the businesses that, you don't have like a storefront, and it's not like you had to close your doors or anything. However, the clients that you provide for have closed their doors, and so then therefore it affects you. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been sort of depressing. I mean, honestly, it's been really sad to kind of watch as, so many businesses have been affected, so much. I mean,
Yeah.
with people closing their doors and now having to cut back on marketing, and eventually that'll come back and also affect them more, because now people aren't, finding them as much, and they're, just, it's just kind of this huge cycle. And
I know. I
uh
know. And right now, like, if a business can stay in front of their marketing, it's important. Everybody's home on their phones and in front of their
yeah,
computers right now. And so, you know, I get it though. Like, when you close your doors, you got to cut out all expenses. And I mean, for me too, like, I had to look at everything. I'm like, is this essential right now? Should I even try to do this right now? Is this going to be too much?
mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is a trickling effect. And I originally at first didn't think I didn't think I was going to be that impacted. I knew that maybe one or two. I did not know it was going to evolve to many more. But I understand, and
Yeah.
I handle it with. I feel like the way the Lord want me to handle it is, I'm like, I understand. I'm sorry. I'm praying for you. I mean, we gotta pray for one another and
Yeah.
support one another and support small businesses and try to keep them afloat right now. And that's all we can do. And it's just sad. I hope that soon all this will be over and businesses can be back up and running and start marketing. And I think they're going to see that social media is a big part of what they should be involved in. So,
Yeah. So on that note, can you give, those of us who are, running social media platforms, can you give us some tips on, just how to engage with people, even during this time, and just in general, maybe not like during a pandemic, but just in general, some good
yeah,
engagement tips?
for sure. So, I'd say some of the top ones for me would be to overcome your fear of getting in front of the camera.
Mm.
And I really encourage you to get on stories for Instagram and Facebook, as well as lives. Video content right now is doing extremely well. Even if you don't feel comfortable getting on a live, you can still record a quick tutorial, how to, even a demo, or just a quick little verbiage about what you offer, or just for people to get to know you. Like, you can record that on your phone and then upload it. And so video content is very important to incorporate into your posts and into your marketing right now. People feel like they can get to know you, and once they get to know you and like you, then they feel like they can trust you and they might do business with you. So it's a part of the marketing strategy, and I think video content is extremely important, especially right now, even if everybody at home on their phones and in front of the computers more. It's important. Another way to really stay ahead in your engagement is you need to know who your target market is. And if you're not sure of who you're trying to target, that's going to be a big problem with your posts, with your reach, with your potential sales. So I like to follow people on my social platforms that are people that I'd be interested in working with.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that, especially on Instagram, by going and just searching in the search bar, hashtag, and then whoever the group is. Like, let's say you're really interested in Atlanta moms, like you have some kind of service that would be great for moms in Atlanta. Then go and follow that hashtag group and start trying to, just comment and get to know other people in that hashtag group. And that's a great way to build engagement for your account organically, as well as maybe getting to know people that might be interested in your services. Mm-hmm. Not in a salesy, like sleazy way, but a genuine way. If you're genuine, people will see that. And so that's important in your engagement. You don't want to just comment to comment. You want to build that relationship. And I think another way you can do that is anytime someone comes in, follows you or likes you, is to just reach out and do a genuine hello. I mean, it's just courtesy. Say hello, thanks for the follow. I'm Amy. I'm the owner of Spread the Message Marketing. I just checked out your page. I like what you make or offer. Awesome job or something. Just something short, sweet, to the point. You don't need to sell your service or product yet. Just a simple hello is fine. And you'd be surprised at how people respond back to that. I've had a lot of good feedback from that. I even had someone that was like, tell me more about what you do. And when I did, they're like, oh, I might be interested in using you in the future. I'm going to keep you in mind. Well, thank you. I mean, I didn't even say anything about that at the beginning. So it's important to be genuine and to let people know, hey, I appreciate that, your follow or your comment. Another big engagement tip is anytime anyone comments on your photos, post, you need to make sure you comment back. Even if you're on a live, go back to your live video, comment back, let them know you appreciate them, watching or sharing, and keep the conversation going. The longer you can keep that conversation going on your post is going to help out your post be seen more, because the more engagement you get on a post, the more it's going to be seen.
Yeah.
And another engagement tip would be to be consistent. You're not going to be up in the feed or up on the stories unless you're consistently posting. So if you take a long break, it's going to be really hard for you to build your account back up to where it was before you took a long break. So where you can use tools to help you with that is scheduling tools. And there's lots of different platforms you can use to schedule your content in advance, like your posts. And I recommend later.com. It's free for 30 posts a month. I am a huge advocate of Later. I use Later for all my clients, and I teach people how to do it. And so it's important to schedule your post in advance. So therefore, if you do need to take a break off social, your engagement might be down if you're not commenting back and forth. But if you had to take a break and you need to be away, at least you have posts still being shown and being consistent in your marketing. So those are some tips. Hope that I helped with someone. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's helping me too. I'm like taking mental notes. I'm like, I'm ready to rewatch this already to implement all of those.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, if someone were wanting to kind of get into social media marketing, what kind of tips would you have for someone who wants to start a business like that?
I just got approached that question a few weeks ago, and my first thing would be to do research. Make sure it's something that you're going to be able to dedicate your time to, because it can be very timely. It depends on what you offer. So you need to really make sure you know from the beginning what it is you want to offer and your timing, because if you're going to be a social media marketing manager that engages on your client's post, that can take some time. And if you're commenting back and forth and, in the direct messages and all that, that can be time consuming. So be careful of what you offer in the beginning. Make sure it's something you're committed to. I mean, you can always change your services, but it's a little bit harder once you get started. And then make sure you research like which platforms you feel the most comfortable in. Like, okay, I can definitely market on Facebook, but I'm not good at Twitter. Like, know your strengths and capitalize on those, like which platforms. Also, get digging into podcasts. Sign up for any free webinar you can. Look at ebooks. That's where I've been trying to kind of help business owners with, and it would even help other marketing agencies. Honestly, they'd be getting a deal if they go and check out some of the ebooks. Maybe check out some paid courses that could help you. And then my next biggest thing is going to be, you need to get experience. People don't want to hire you unless they see proof, numbers, results. and experience. And the great thing about Upwork.com, and there's probably other platforms too, but I used Upwork in the beginning, is you can go and apply for maybe, you know, a job, or even offer to be like you could be an intern, or just offer your services for free just to gain experience.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, then you're able to see, okay, I'm able to do this. I'm able to get some numbers. I'm able to get, you know, better reach for them, you know, whatever the case is. So those are ways you can get into it. But just make sure that it's something that you know you want to spend time on. Be careful with what you offer. Like, make sure it's worth your time and money, and just research and practice. That's probably my biggest ones.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great tips. I think, you know, they can be applied to a lot of different businesses, but I mean, with social media, I think that that's definitely a good point to drive in, that you're going to be spending a lot of time kind of on your phone and on the internet. And so you got to enjoy that.
Yes. And you got to be able to find that work-life balance for sure. Because you end up being on your phone way more than you thought you would. And yeah, so you gotta, if you're going to do that, like say in your services, you're going to dedicate. So I will dedicate 15 minutes a day of engaging with your followers. And like, if you do it like that, then you can time it, and you can know that, you know, look, I'm not going to be able to offer more than that. If it's something more, then that's going to be a, you know, an additional cost, or maybe the business owner wants to do some of it. I've had that happen before, where like the business owner will engage. Sometimes I would engage, or maybe the business owner engages all the time, and I don't do that at all. Like, it just depends. You got to make sure you have all that figured out and what you can offer. So,
yeah. Well, great. So kind of to start wrapping up, I kind of wanted to know what is next for your business. You know, do you have any big plans? I know you kind of mentioned that you are going to be doing a new membership-based program. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So thank you. I'm going to actually be starting this in the next like week and a half, like my first. It's going to be released on April the 27th. So that's my launch. And I have it all coming into place now. I'm using Kajabi. I love Kajabi. I started doing some courses, and I put a halt on my courses just for a minute, because I kept having people come to me saying, I need help with content. Like, I need a content counter. I need ideas. I don't know what to post and when to post it. I'm struggling. And I've talked to so many business owners about that. And so I knew that I needed to pray and pivot right now during this virus. And so it's been laid out before me, like, I need to offer this membership and this service. So finally just bit the bullet and signed up for Kajabi and got started on it right away. And it's going to be awesome. What it's going to consist of, though, for business owners is it's going to be 30, or if there's 31 days in a month, I'll include 31. But I usually kind of just say 30 on average, 30 captions where they just fill in the blank with their business name, or like what service or product they offer. But I'm getting really niche down. Like, I'm going to offer it for like at least 10 different industries I have in mind right now. And if I need to add more, I will. But those 10 industries, markets, will have content centered only around them. Because that's the thing, is when people go and like look for content calendars or ideas, they're getting like general, like, share something about yourself, or share your product or service. And that's not helping business owners see, like, I need to be very detailed focused, or maybe this works and this doesn't. So I'm providing all the captions like ready to go. You just personalize it. That's all. And I'm going to offer hashtags that would go along with that post. Like, I'll give suggested hashtags. I'll also give a suggested image. Like, this is the type image that would go well with this post. I'm not saying they use that image. I'm just giving them an option of like what would be a good idea for an image. And then also I'm going to give them a call to action on each post. Like, that's the biggest thing, is a lot of people are just posting, but they're not putting any type of call to action, which builds engagement on their post, or which converts the post to a sale. So they're going to get that content monthly. It's going to be in the membership, in Kajabi, in the page, and they'll get that every month on the 27th of the month, so they can start planning out their next month content. But what I've also done is I was like, well, I want to be able to nurture and help these business owners even more. So they will be put into a private Facebook group hosted by me, and I will do one master class a month with those business owners that are in the membership that is around their content, around posting, around social media marketing, that can help them. So I'm excited. It's going to be, I'm really excited about it, because I feel like it's a great way for business owners who cannot hire a manager right now, And whether it's budget related or they don't feel comfortable, whatever the case is, it's a way for them to stay on top of their post and have something that is going to be easy for them to go to and that works and it's effective. And so
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
That's awesome. That
Yeah.
sounds like something that a lot of us really do need. So yeah, I'm excited to see that come out, and I know that a lot of people will benefit from it.
Yeah.
I also understand that you are currently doing a sale on your ebooks. Is that right? Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes. So I have 3 published ebooks. 2 of them are actually on Amazon as well, but I prefer to try to, I guess, lead people to my website more so than Amazon. But I was excited about getting them on Amazon. But I have one on hashtags, how to use hashtags effectively. It's like how to spread your message with your business in a way where you're able to grow organically through hashtags. So that's been a big one, a big hit is the hashtag ebook. And then I have one about how to master your lives and stories, because that's an essential part of marketing as well. Is you've got to be on video, like you've got to be on lives and stories and sharing about your business and about you, and people get to know you and your business more. And so I have an ebook on that, and I actually wrote that in the middle of a challenge that I did with business owners, and it was a huge success. People were terrified to get on video, and then after the challenge and after they read the ebook, they were ready to go and conquer it, and they've done amazing. So it was kind of written in the middle of a challenge. And then the last ebook that I have up is one for blogging. Like, people sometimes don't understand what a blog can do for their business. And so I explain it. I tell them how to get started. I tell them what they can be blogging on, things that stand out in a blog, and all that. It's like, I forget how many pages long, but all 3 ebooks are very important for a business right now: hashtags, stories, lives, and blogging. And so those 3 are all available in my shop. And I just have them up for sale for $9.99. They're not that expensive. They're pretty affordable. And I wanted to help out in some way during this virus of helping business owners be able to learn a new skill or platform. So they're there if anyone's interested.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'll make sure to link to your website and where to find those books in the show notes. And yeah, so is there anything else that you want to share with us as we kind of close out today?
I guess just maybe a word of advice from a marketing standpoint is the biggest thing is be consistent. I know it's really hard, especially right now. You may be kind of down and not sure what even the next steps are, but be consistent. And I would encourage you to, whether you're a believer or not, is to really try to seek the Lord right now. We're living in dark times, and He's the only true person that can help us, and He is He's our all. He's our rock. And so He can help you through scripture and through prayer and through fellowship and music. So I just encourage you to be consistent in your marketing and go to the Lord. And I'll wrap up on those 2 things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I really appreciate your time today, Amy, and I'm really excited for others to get to hear this message that you have to share. And, I just, pray that God continues to bless your business and what you're doing.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you so